Alright, here we go, mother effers. Our current champions, Nightmare653 and BboyDeyo, are the Carbon team on the right side, and they have been placed on Vergon by their challengers. The red team on the left side, it is Atyla in the Deep Sea Osprey and the Kraken in the Tomcat Striker. Frisky Cow.
Yes?
Hi.
Hey, that's Striker Osprey versus Paladin Helix. Should be an interesting dynamic. Normally I would give the edge to Striker Osprey in any kind of protracted mid-fight, because this map doesn't have nearly as many outposts. I wouldn't expect the same strategy we saw last game with the SAM spam and Boxer spam to be particularly effective on this map, because there really aren't a whole lot of ground paths between these outposts.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on where the SAMs are coming from and how I guess how BboyDeyo chooses to support Nightmare if he chooses to continue that SAM spam approach.
Carbon's got a hard commit to bottom, Red's hard commit to top. Oh, someone had their units on follow and they get a nice cross through the middle.
Oh boy, I'm assuming that's Nightmare, but I don't want to.
Fair number of Dillos. I think Nightmare's been the one primarily using the deployment arm. B-Boy's been using the older style of deploy and pulling them directly out of the outpost.
Right, so it's more likely Nightmare considering that. Firm hold for both teams on their respective outposts, so we are going to have a... Well, the Carbon team is kind of ahead here, though. Clearing more on their side first, and having more unit presence closer to the actual outpost itself.
Interesting. I don't think either team's really going to be able to hold on to this. Carbon team's got a lot of lighter units. They got the Dillos, they got the Boxers, whereas Red team's got the more traditional mass pile of Longhorn and the better concave. So I think Red's really got the upper hand here, especially since Red's got the Osprey to keep all these things topped off.
Yeah, I really would like to see some fort drops by these teams. Kind of like you said, they're so damn close together that type of distraction is actually really, really powerful. So right now, 19-31. The Carbon team's actually significantly behind in unit count and upkeep, but they have the mid. So hey, whatever works, works.
They have it, and they're holding it somehow. Oh, because there's still SAMs coming in from all over the place, and the Boxers presumably were full of infantry.
Speaking of
Nightmare
box,
didn't have the health to keep this up.
I don't think either team has grabbed their box, even though they literally start with, you know, the boxes on the map. So yeah, red team has probably a better positioning right now, and they are putting a little bit of pressure on bottom.
Carbon team just took too many casualties at mid, so it's a 3-to-1 upkeep advantage. So if red team keeps their momentum and just actually starts moving these units, then they can completely lock down this middle outpost without contest.
Kraken getting a decent surround here, starting. Carbon team basically forced to pull back. Nightmare is still attacking and actually drops the SAMs up. I would like to see him focus on the neutralize instead of what he was doing there, trying to attack the units. Again, no one's grabbed the boxes.
Oh no, to fort.
Someone did.
B-Boy is going to be dropping Dillos all over the fort. This would be a lot more effective if Red was upkeep capped, but they're not. But still, that's a decent chunk of damage. Gets both Red players to come back, trying to buy Nightmare a little bit of opportunity to exploit something else in the mid, but Nightmare just doesn't really have any units. Carbon team in general doesn't really have any units. They're sub 10 upkeep. Everything they build gets immediately destroyed, so it's a 4 or 5-to-1 upkeep advantage.
B-Boy was able to save a Dillo. You know, it's something. It's something.
Yeah, the literal weakest tank in the game.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, hey. That depends on how you define weak. So, okay? Someone did grab the bottom box. Fragile, is that it? Fragile and doesn't do that much damage. Not much strength, low durability.
Low strength, kind of, I think weakness is a quantitative measurement of strength.
Okay.
Yes.
Then in that definition you would be correct, sir.
Yeah, weird not seeing Red push anything to port. Yeah, Red's got wide open land of opportunity of hundreds of things they could be doing, but I think they're putting too much attention on this bottom center outpost when they could just be, rushing a group of tanks to fort.
I think
There's literally no defenses.
they're probably not really aware of how ahead they actually are.
BBoy doing another triple Dillo drop. I don't expect this to be the game ender.
They are doing
at
a
all.
fort push, though. The red team is doing a fort push.
Yeah.
And that'll probably be it.
Delayed.
I would think this is going to be it.
The game ender either.
It depends.
Now, that was a good distraction, so now Red's taken the bottom center. We're in domination mode, and Red's just going to start funneling as many units in as possible. So they actually stopped that push before it even got to the fort because they were worried that Carbon Team might be able to defend. The Paladin, especially with that hammer, able to cut all that incoming damage in half. If they do have units on defense, it can be really powerful.
That is true. So it really boils down to Nightmare's application of that hammer, the timing and positioning and all that stuff. Definitely needs to apply the stasis as much as possible to as many units as possible. But even if he does, I don't even know if that'll help with the current... Holy crap, that's a lot of units. That's an ass ton of units.
Now it's the game-ending push. So the other units from the bottom center have now joined the fray, and that's all she wrote. Fort immediately goes down as soon as all those guns are pointed at it.
The Sam Spam did not work out so well for Nightmare653 this time. BboyDeyo...
It's just not a good map for their strategy. They had a very light unit central, let's go everywhere at once strategy, but there's only one ground path. And it goes right through a heavily defended neutral area. They took heavy casualties in the beginning, losing them without probably even realizing it.
I did admire the fort drops by B-Boy. Probably too little too late, though. If he did it a little bit earlier, maybe they would have been able to use those to their advantage while they had more unit presence at the mid, but basically did it after all their units were cleared, so didn't really supplement their approach, pretty much, so unfortunately. Anyway.
So if I'm not mistaken, B-Boy was next in queue.
B-Boy was next in queue. He joined this voluntarily, so I believe he does have the right to be the next challenger in this instance.
So unfortunately, Nightmare does get taken down as our king, and we have a new reigning champion, TheKrakken and Atyla. B-Boy will be the new challenger, but I believe per your rules, he needs to bring a new teammate.
He does, yes. So... going forward.
But thank you, Nightmare, for playing. Even though you lack self-confidence, you still beat the shit out of a couple of pretty good players.
Indeed. So take that with you and, go forth with a new level of confidence.